Okay, let's talk about counters, up counters and down counters. You have two counter functions in here to work with Proficy. All right? They have three inputs. Each of them have three inputs. You have a counting input, a reset input, and a PV. Okay? The up counter, when your CV is equal to your PV, the output on your up counter will turn on. Okay? On your down counter, it will start, when it resets, it'll start at your PV and count down to 0. When your down counter is equal to 0, the output will turn on. Okay? Let me get down there and show you the down counter. Okay? So, you've got your input, cause the trigger. You've got your reset, that'll reset the counter. And then you have your PV. Now when you're setting up your counters, they're just like timers as far as memory usage. You have 3 registers you have to use for each counter. Okay? Got your 3 registers. The first register is your CV. Just like the timer, current value of your counter. The next register is your PV, your preset value. And the third register is your control word. Don't overlap them, don't overwrite them, okay? You need to treat them just like we did with the timers, okay? If you look over here, you see that my down counter is register 4, my up counter is register 1. Now, both of your counters will count on an off to on transition on the input. Okay? Now if I look at this input up here, when it transitions from off to on, it will count 1. When it goes low again, it's all set up again, and then it goes from off to on, it'll count again. Okay? It keeps going. It doesn't count as long as it's high, and it doesn't count as long as it's low. It counts transitions from off to on, which is real nice. That's the only point it will count. Okay? So let me show you. Let me download this, connect to the PLC, and we'll get this connected up. Okay, and we're going to go and set the programmer mode, and we're going to go and stop the controller. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and download and start this. Okay? Oh, now I need to go and turn off the passwords. Okay. Alright, again, turn off the passwords, click on the CPU, disable my passwords, okay, there we go, and let's try again. Okay, what do we see there? The green up there says our up counter is 0. Also the down counter is 0. Okay, let's look at our outputs over here. You can see our up counter output is off and our down counter output is on. So we've got a 0 there on both of them. Now if I push the reset button, if I come over here and I push the reset button, okay, nothing changed with the up counter, did it? It stayed at 0 and the down counter reset to 15. Okay? Alright. Now let me go and push the button, goes up. As soon as my input turns on, the up counter counts up. Okay? Now, we'll do the same thing for the down counter. It's counting, counting, counting. Okay? So my up counter shows a value of 6, my down counter shows a value of 10, and I look over here at the outputs, both of them are off. Okay? Now, I'm going to set this so you can watch both the counters and the outputs. Okay? I'll keep running this 8, 9, 10. I'm at 10 now, and the counter is full, isn't it? So the output goes on. Now I'm going to push the down button. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now my output's, okay? My output's on. Now what happens if I keep adding counts to my up counter? It keeps counting, doesn't it? Okay? It will keep counting up to 32,767. Then it will max out. And the output will stay on the whole time. Okay? The down counter, now what happens? Look what happens when I do one more down count. It goes to 65535 and keeps counting down. Okay? And if I whoops, 32,769. Okay? Now I keep counting down, down. That's the maximum it'll go. Okay? So you can count below if you want. You know how many counts past empty. You can go all to the maximum negative. This is a maximum negative number. It's not that I have something, it's not really that useful for what we're going to be doing. We're going to talk about, show you how to get around that and how to prevent that from happening in a few minutes. But it's simple, down counter, up counter. Count it up, count it down. Now if I hit reset right now, okay, if I hit reset, what's the up counter going to go to?
0.
0. What's the down counter going to go to?
15.
15. There you go. 0 and 15. Hit the reset. Same reset for both of them, right? Okay. Now, what if I want to keep track of something that's going in and out? In and out. Okay? Got the number of people coming in one door, you got people going out the other door. Okay? So what do? I count people coming in through this one, and I count people going out through that one, but those two numbers don't correlate with each other, do they? Now I've got to do some fancy math and say, well, I had so many people go out and so many people come in, and you've got to do all kinds of crazy things to make that work, right? Wouldn't it be nice to have one set of functions so that you can count up and down? We can. Okay? Remember the word move function? Okay? We're going to use the word move function. Okay? But before we do that, let's prevent it from counting. Let's prevent it from counting when we hit our maximum count. Because if you only have room for 12 balls in a box, having 13 doesn't make sense, does it? Okay? That 13th ball, if you try and drop the 13th ball in a box, it's going to fall on the ground, right? Okay? And the same thing, it doesn't make sense to have negative parts in a box or negative people in a room, right? Okay, so let's come over here, and I'm going to put a couple of contacts here. And this one over here, counter full and counter empty. In this case, as long as the counter is not full, let me keep counting up. And in this case, as long as the counter is not empty, let me keep counting down. Alright? So let's try that. Let's go and stop the PLC. Okay. And we're going to download and start that. Okay. Okay, I hit the reset button. Okay. Counter up is 0, counter down is 15. Now you notice that both of these contacts are closed, allowing power flow, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I count up. You can see this counting up. Now what happens when I hit 10? My counter full output turns on, and that goes false. Now I could sit here and try and keep counting up, but nothing happens, does it? I can't go above 10. Now let's see the same thing with count down. Okay, count down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now watch, hit 0, my output turns on, this turns off. Now as many times as I want, I can't go below 0. Is that a little handier? Yeah. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the next one and we're going to make an up-down counter. All right?